Well, how often have you thought, gee, I wish I had a lawyer that could answer a question for me? Well, Despina, happy to do that for you. All you need to do is send us your question, and you can do that through our website, radio97.com.au. A couple of ways to contact us there, but you'll find them all in the one place. Just go to radio97.com.au.
Thank you, Wayno. And you would have heard before the break here, local laws are changing for pet owners on the GC as of the 25th of August. Now, Despina, some of these changes look massive. Can you talk us through what to expect on the 25th?
Pages here.
I will. There are pages, and it was sort of something that flew under the radar, and I didn't really know about it until it was really funny story driving along the Hope Island Road that I often do up here at the North End, and there was a big, huge sign in neon lights. I think it was one of those traffic signs that you often see about roadworks, and it said, "Dog laws changing, coming soon in August." So I thought, oh, I'm a dog owner, so I better find out what this is all about. Yep. And I jumped online to Gold Coast City Council website and found the information. And I didn't think that there was much prior notice or any sort of pamphlets issued to anybody about this. So I thought, well, everybody out there should know about this because it's coming into force 25th of August, as you said. The fines are going up. Okay, for ownership of pets. We want to talk about that. But I thought, interestingly, I would mention about how this has come about initially, because maybe some people aren't aware of it. So apparently there was a survey and the community were invited to participate in this survey. I'm not sure which part of the community, but apparently they were between the 6th and the 29th of August, 2022. So listeners out there might remember perhaps that they participated in a survey. I'm not sure. And apparently there were 1,553 participants in a survey for the Gold Coast region, which doesn't sound like a lot. But
in hindsight, it doesn't sound many at all.
No, it's interesting that council have made changes to laws based on a survey of 1,553 people. Anyway, they've taken the community feedback on board, as they said that they have. Good on council, and have made some changes. And I think some of the changes are good in terms of increasing fines if you're not in control of your dog in the community. And I think that's really important. And there's some other changes as well. If you were interested, you could Google Local Law 12 engagement, and you would find this 3-page document, which gives you all the stats. For example, the gender of people surveyed, the age of people surveyed. It's quite interesting where people were surveyed on the Gold Coast.
How many genders did we have?
Well, we had 31.25% were men. We had 64.65% women.
Okay, that doesn't add up to 100. So there's at least one more gender there, right?
Well, we have these other two vague categories called other, 0.43%, whatever that means. And the other category was prefer not to say, which is 3.67. I'm not sure why you would prefer not to say if you're a male or female. Well, we may not get into that today. But in any event, it's listed if you're interested in the survey results. But if we want to talk about the changes, so the changes to offences and penalties. So everybody should know that as a pet owner, you've got to be a responsible pet owner. And that's a very important thing. So you can't let your dog or whatever other pet you have, roam the streets without having a leash. Or being in control of that dog. If you're going out in the community, if you're going through cafes and public places, you must be able to control your dog. If you put or place your dog in one of those dog parks that council have around the Gold Coast, you also, whilst you can take your leash off your dog, you've still got to be able to control your dog, as it says here, by voice command, and you must always have your dog within sight in one of those dog parks as well. You can't just come in, bring your coffee and a newspaper and just let the dog run like, you do maybe with a child in a park. So go and have that time, some fun time, and I'll just sit here with my coffee. Can't really do that as well if you have a dog in a dog park. So that was just something to mention by the by. But for example, these are the changes. So keeping your dog under effective control is a requirement now. And as of the 25th of August, the penalty units for breaches of that are 4, and the fine amount $619, which is hefty.
Yep.
right? Keeping your pet contained within your property, 3 penalty units for breaches and $464. And keeping the minimum standards for pets, 2 penalty units for breaches and $309. So those are the fines that are increasing. And the other interesting thing, which it goes into some detail about, is this koala conservation requirements. So we've talked on the show before about when you're buying property, make sure you go on the city map to check a lot of things. One in particular, does your property have a koala habitat at the back? Is it subject to that? Particularly at Burleigh Heads, there are a lot of properties down there that have it. All right. And if you do buy a property and you have dogs or a cat, or maybe a hen or a chicken or some other sort of domesticated animal, and you have a koala habitat at the back of your property, then you've got all these extra requirements. You've got to restrain your dog, for example, during sunrise and sunset. You've got to have all these other requirements met. You've got to have particular fences built on the property. It's quite intricate. So that just brings it home. You really should make sure that you're not buying a property with a koala habitat. You've got all these onerous obligations, particularly if you have a dog.
Well, we've just printed out all of these new updated fines and changes of laws and things. And to do with the koala conservation requirements alone, that goes for just over a page, and it's a fairly reasonably sized or smallish sort of print. So there's quite a bit there about all sorts of things to do with, your boundaries and et cetera, what you can and can't do there. So just a page alone to do with koalas.
That's right, a page alone. And it goes on to, as you say, animal enclosures. It goes on, there's a whole big section about permits, about all sorts of other animals that you don't need permits now for, such as bees and geese and hens and all these sorts of things. So it's very detailed. It's about 7 pages all up, or 7 or 8. So you should go online if you're interested in relation to anything perhaps other than dogs. But particularly, just be aware with dogs, it's all about effective control. And the animal noise nuisance is also a big deal. So, the fines are up. If your dogs are causing a nuisance, you really need to be aware of that. And it's got online here, the duration of the noise. So if the duration of your dog and the noise exceeds, for example, more than a total of 6 minutes in any 60-minute period between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., that's a nuisance.
Grab out your stopwatch, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's specific.
It's very specific, very specific. And then there's another thing about 3 minutes in any 30-minute period. So the laws are there now. They're changing in terms of the fines and penalties. Be aware of it as of the 25th of August. It's great that councils listen to community feedback. Yes, we love that. We want it to be positive. So, but I don't think they've actually told everybody, which is why I'm telling people on the show now, you've got a couple of weeks. So make sure you understand that, you got to be always be responsible, but the fines are going up. It should motivate you to be even more responsible as a pet owner now, I would have thought.
That's it. There's about a 10-page document here waiting for you to read,
Bit
folks.
Of light nighttime reading.
Love it. Thank you so much again, Despina, for the handy information. If anyone does want to get in touch with you directly about a question about the law or possibly this ginormous document, where can they go?
So they can phone the office 55291 email info@prialalegal.com.au. When I post this up on YouTube, I will put these links in. So if you go onto YouTube and listen to it, there'll be a link there for you to click onto these articles on Council's website.
Easy peasy. Thank you so much, Despina and Wayne.
All right, and we'll catch you next week.
See you then, guys.
Are you confused about legal jargon? Do you need legal advice but don't know where to turn? Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97. Despina, a leading lawyer with over 20 years of experience, will demystify the law and provide practical advice to help you navigate legal issues. Whether it's a family matter, a property dispute, or a business concern, Talking Law has got you covered. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97.